There comes a moment where we have to stop playing games with Scripture and face it head on. The Bible is not a weapon for hate. It is a mirror that exposes the human heart and a fire that calls us higher. It was written across centuries, through pain, war, survival, and divine encounters, and yes, you will see conflict, you will see nations rise and fall, you will see bloodshed in the Old Testament, especially in places like Joshua and Judges. But let's not twist it. Those moments were rooted in a brutal ancient world where survival was everything, where a small nation fought to exist, where identity and faith were constantly under attack, and those events were specific to that time, not a blank check for cruelty today. And then everything shifts when Jesus steps in. Everything changes, everything becomes clear, because he doesn't come with a sword to dominate hearts. He comes with truth that cuts deeper than any weapon. He says in Matthew 22:39, "Love your neighbor as yourself," he says in Matthew 5:9. "Blessed are the peacemakers," he says in Matthew 5:44. "Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." And that right there destroys every excuse people use to justify hate in his name. Let's be real. Hate is loud, hate is easy. Hate feels powerful for a moment, but it rots the soul and blinds the spirit. And nowhere does Jesus celebrate that kind of darkness. Instead, he calls it out. He confronts hypocrisy. He flips tables when religion becomes corrupted, but he never teaches us to hate people. He teaches us to fight evil with truth and love. Now, yes, the Bible does speak of judgment. It speaks of consequences. It speaks of God confronting injustice. But that is not random hatred. That is righteous correction. That is a holy response to corruption. Because a God who never confronts evil would not be loving at all, and this is where people get it twisted. They take verses out of context, they ignore the heart of the message. And they use Scripture to justify division, control, and violence, but that says more about human intention than it does about God's truth. The real tension in the Bible is not about choosing hate or love, it's about understanding the battle between justice and mercy, between judgment and forgiveness, between human failure and divine perfection, and every single one of us has to decide what we're going to carry. Are we going to carry bitterness, pride, and division? Or are we going to carry the radical, uncomfortable, life-changing love that Jesus commanded? Because make no mistake, loving your enemies is not weak, forgiving when it hurts is not passive, choosing peace in a world addicted to outrage is not soft. That is strength. That is power, that is transformation, and Romans 12:21 says it clearly. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. So no, the Bible does not support hate as a virtue. It exposes it, it warns against it, it calls us out of it. And when you zoom out and see the full picture from Genesis to Revelation, the direction is clear. It is moving toward reconciliation, toward restoration. Toward a kingdom built not on fear or domination, but on truth, humility, and relentless love. This is not about politics. This is not about aligning with movements that twist faith into something unrecognizable. This is about standing firm in what is real, what is pure, what is undeniably the message of Jesus. Love God, love people, walk in truth, reject hate, and live boldly in a way that reflects light in a dark world. Because at the end of the day, you cannot claim to follow Christ and carry hate in your heart. The two cannot coexist. And the truth will always expose what we try to hide. Please follow my page so that you don't miss what's coming next. Please feel free to like, share, and comment. Let's spread the light. Thank you so much with love always, Maria D.C. Santiago.